Welcome to In Pursuit with Pastor Bill.
Hey, I'm just a simple guy in pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, wild game, fish that swim under the ice, tender smoked meat, tasty grilled meat, and Denise.
In this hour, we are going to be talking about all of that and a whole lot more. Bill has been with Maranatha since 2005 and the campus pastor at Maranatha Chisago Lakes campus since 2011. Come along and join In Pursuit.
Well, good afternoon. Here we are, another In Pursuit, this May 14th, Thursday lunch hour edition.
Hello.
It's good to have you guys here. I'm Bill.
I'm Denise.
And I'm Alice.
It's awesome. We are the Three Stooges today. That works, doesn't it?
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yeah. Yep, that's us. That's us. Well, thanks for joining us today, for listening live. If you listen later, thank you for listening in podcast form or on the websites, wherever you might find us. But we appreciate you listening. As always, just because for some reason I like this, let us know if you're listening. If you have one of our numbers, shoot us a text, and we would just like to know that you're out there. We don't have Shane or James with us, but I know that between the Wolves and the Wild, they would both be a little bit sad today. The Wolves are down in their series. The Wild are out.
Oh,
so,
that is sad.
Yeah, went from a very exciting time in Minnesota sports to seemingly dwindling. So there's that. Yeah.
Makes you wonder how that happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. When there's millions and millions of dollars on the line and all these things, you can't help but wonder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes my mind goes down that conspiracy, can't trust type of a mindset.
Yeah.
Not healthy.
No.
I didn't picture you as a conspiracy guy.
You know, there's a part of me, Alice, where I have to intentionally not go down those rabbit holes, because in a lot of different things, there's people that have done a lot of different research and stuff like that to show things that didn't happen that they say did, and things that did happen they say didn't, and whether it's government stuff or kind of in any area. And,
did we really land on the moon?
Yep, that kind of stuff. Yep. So that's where I kind of, because I know the way my mind gets rolling pretty much out of control sometimes. I intentionally don't go down those roads very far. If I read an article, I just kind of try and dismiss it, but. Yeah, like the sports, like even we were talking recently, me and Denise were about the 7-game series that take place in basketball, and all of the money that's made if the series continues. Like each game that's played it's so much money, that is made. And
yeah. Have you ever seen a championship? I don't even know what to call them. Like playoff things end in the 4 games?
Yeah, they have. I mean, there's people that have been swept over the years, and that's kind of the balance of the thought, is it not every single series goes to 7 games.
Yeah.
There's, like, I remember one year the Bulls won a championship on the road when Michael Jordan was playing, and they won in the 6th game. It was either they win the championship or they're going back for Game 7. So there are plenty of examples that someone can argue and say, yeah, it's not fake, but there's also plenty of examples to say, well, you can kind of see where players or refs or somebody kind of threw the game or jumped in and made a call or didn't make a call and stuff like that. And they do a lot of research and investigating where they do find refs and players that have thrown the games and that have, covered a point spread or tried to not cover a point spread, stuff like that, But again, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars, and when we live in a world that's as greedy as it is, that money is a pretty big motivating factor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But not every ref throws a game.
Not every ref does, not every player does. And that's the sad thing is we get into this mindset of, well, and this is across the board in every industry and people group and everything, where we look at what a few do and then we end up labeling all.
The whole industry.
Yeah. And that's not good. Cindy Noble and the boys are listening, and Molly and Megan are there. So thank you guys.
She's so cute.
Faithfully listening.
I love little Molly.
Yeah, she looked cute in her little flower stuff today.
Yeah.
In that picture, yeah.
We had 60 plus today, and it was a flower theme, so it was pretty cute when she got up there with her flower thing.
It was cute. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep letting us know if you're listening. I got a couple thoughts today. Actually, it's unfortunately, maybe for those of you listening, it's kind of a 4-point sermon we have today.
Oh, fun.
I'm feeling preachy for some reason. So hopefully we don't bore you to death. But before we get into that, though, just kind of some of the spring things. Like Denise said, we had our seniors group that met this morning with kind of a spring flowery theme. And it seems like spring has sprung. Pretty nice weather that we're having. I love the cool mornings and then
pretty
the
beautiful.
mild afternoons, but the garden is happening. You were planting some things recently in the garden.
I was, yeah. I got out there. I don't know what, today's Thursday, so it must have been Tuesday. Yeah, got out there and planted all my seeds that I planted too soon inside because they got way too big.
They
so
grew
now
well.
Yeah. I have to remember to plant my tomato seeds before I plant all my other seeds because tomatoes take longer. So I should have done those 2-3 weeks earlier than the other ones. And I didn't because my brain doesn't hang on to that very valuable information. And so my other plants were 5 inches long hanging over the little pots that they were in and just needed to get them in the ground. But I couldn't because of the frost.
Yeah, there were some cold nights a week ago.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see the garden. Alice, do you guys do a vegetable garden?
Yeah, Jason was just out there yesterday.
Oh, that's
planting the tomatoes and the potatoes and his herbs and more garlic and
You have
carrots.
gotten garlic to grow? Mm-hmm. You have. That's very cool.
Mine did not grow this year. I'll have to pick your brain.
Yeah, that would
Ours usually lasts through the winter and then we'll start sprouting again.
Yeah, well, that's what they say.
You're supposed to plant it in the fall, which I did last fall, and nothing came up. So I don't know.
It's kind of a backwards thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, plant it in the fall and then it goes dormant and does what it does. But yeah, potatoes are, to me, one of the funnest things because you just have no idea of the fruit. You can see the plant, but until you start digging around in the dirt, I don't know why, but I really enjoy digging in the dirt and finding potatoes.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's an exciting thing.
I planted quite a few this year, so hopefully they grow.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Well, we're going to try poppy seeds this year.
What?
Because we eat a lot of poppy seeds because of our European background.
Sure.
Okay.
So we're going to see how that works.
That'll be fun.
That's exciting.
A new experiment.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, so it's garden time. It's baby chicks time. We incubated. We had one of the kids and the grandkids, a couple of the grandkids, they incubated a dozen eggs for us and ended up hatching 3 of them. And so they had them for a week or so and then brought them back to the house. And now we have chicks in the kitchen again in the dining room.
They're going in the garage soon because they flew to the top of the box last night.
Uh-oh.
So I put a gate over the top, but they'll be out in the garage now.
Yeah, they're cute, though.
They're adorable.
Baby chicks are cute.
Very colorful. Like, they're the colorfulest chicks we've ever had. But we had some colorful moms, and then our rooster is very beautiful. He's very colorful. So we're excited to see what these chicks look like because they're very colorful. And,
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I opened the door to the coop today, and usually the chickens are crawling under the door in order to get out.
Yeah.
And nobody came out.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, Jason, should I check on the chickens? Did something get in there? Now we don't have any.
Yeah, that would be sad.
And he goes, no, I'll do that.
Okay.
And he went out there,
And they're
came
fine?
back smiling because he had left the main door open.
Nice.
So they were just out and about.
Yep, they were just out and about.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
they're all good. Yeah.
Yeah, because massacring your flock isn't good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
feel good at
terrible.
all.
Yeah. Yeah, moles are driving me crazy right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the gophers, I've caught a few gophers. We don't have really any new gopher mounds up in the yard yet, but the moles are just driving me crazy.
It's like we have a pile of dirt spaghetti in our front yard.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
I'm assuming you have mole traps.
I've tried a couple different ones with absolutely no success. And we have the chickens, and so we don't put anything down to poison or anything like that. So
the trick I learned, because I'm a superior mole catcher.
What?
Really?
What's the trick?
The trick is when you dig the hole to put the trap in, make sure that your hands have lots of dirt and rub the dirt on the trap because they can smell so good.
Oh, that's
that they can smell you on the trap.
Interesting. Huh. And what kind of trap do you use? Like a put down in the hole or just like a...
Well, I used a scissor one.
The jaws. And you're talking about moles, not gophers.
Moles.
Okay.
We didn't have gophers in Scotland, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I would put out 8 traps and catch 6 in a day.
Get out. I will pay you with my fingers if you come and get rid of these moles. Yeah, I'm going to try that. We're going to pick your brain more about that too, because it drives me crazy the way these moles do it. And we don't have beautiful lawn or anything like that, but I'm trying to get it nicer, and these moles are just driving me crazy. And then you walk around and you just keep falling in different things. So
BJ and Georgia are listening.
Oh, that's super fun.
Sweet little Georgia. Love
Very
that
cool.
girl.
Thank you guys for joining. So yeah, that's going to be good. Well, I'm going to try that then. Wash my hands in dirt for a bit before I start dropping traps in.
Yep.
Because I want to get rid of these doggone things.
Yeah.
And I noticed the other day, or last night, we were out doing something, and holes that are coming out now. So they must be crawling out and running around. And we have the cat, and it's like, come on, cat, catch some moles.
They tend to not like them.
What?
They tend to not like them because they taste funny to them, so they won't.
Huh. Cats don't chase moles.
No. As far as I know, my dogs would even catch them, but they would just drop them and leave them.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be my journey. My experiment is going to be trying to eradicate and make the yard more better.
Yeah.
More better. Well, what else you guys got? Anything before we get into my 4-point sermon today?
I don't think I have anything.
We have an exciting wedding coming up. Arthur's doing great. Yeah, good exciting.
We have tadpoles in our pond.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
Super fun.
I know.
I love tadpoles.
That's very cool.
You're going to have frogs singing soon.
I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Lots of little babies everywhere, so be careful when you mow.
Oh, yeah. You'll have to watch that. Yeah.
That's cool. I love tadpoles.
Well, so here's what I want to do
I have
today.
a story about tadpoles.
Yeah, tell us.
So when my kids were little, we went to Island Lake Beach, which was our place to go. It was just, we lived there in the summertime. And we went there one early spring, and there were hundreds of tadpoles in the water. And so I dumped all the little beach toys out and got our little Tupperware bucket and went down there and scooped up a bunch of tadpoles, like a large tote. Not super large. Let's see. Probably a 36-inch by 12-inch tote, maybe a 24-inch by 12. Anyway, I filled it with water that was just loaded with tadpoles. I'm like, guys, we're going to get tadpoles and they're going to get into frogs. And so when we got home, I set the bucket on the front step and I said, okay, tomorrow, because we got home late from the beach, I said, tomorrow we're going to go into the pet store and get tadpole food so that we can hatch these tadpoles. Mm-hmm. So we all went in, ate supper, and went to bed. And then came out the next morning, and our ducks were sitting very happy with big bellies on the front step, and my tadpole pool was empty.
Oh, no.
I just served up a bunch of tadpoles to my ducks. Never even thought of it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that shocked me when I was in college is there is a type of frog called bufo, which is one of the big toads. And their tadpoles live for 2 years, and the bodies of them are like 2 inches long, and they're over an inch in diameter.
That's a big tadpole. I didn't know toads came from tadpoles. I know nothing.
So
anyway,
it was kind of cool to see, but
That's
scary.
a big tadpole.
That's a big tadpole.
Yeah, almost looked like a bullhead swimming around.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's good. Tadpoles. Spring. Just spring stuff. I think
Very
it's fun. Spring is fun. And then some of it you got to wait till the fall to finally figure it out if anything worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's good. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to look at James chapter 1. So like we're in church, if you're listening and you're just sitting around, grab your Bible. But James chapter 1, and I think this is on my mind because of this last weekend's message at the Chisago Lakes campus. We kind of talked about just to just do it. And the whole idea was, we know that God speaks to us. We trust that God speaks to us as believers. And the battle is, are we going to do what the Spirit inside of us is saying, or are we going to do what our flesh wants us to do? And so that's where it was like it's a simple message, and I know it's oversimplified, but just do it. Even today, whenever you hear this, just do what God is laying on your heart to do, because we hear over and over again of the testimonies and the fruit that comes from somebody being obedient to what the Lord lays on their heart. And you just never know the fruit that can come from it. At our seniors group this morning, Shane shared his testimony, and you hear the fruit of just listening to the Spirit inside of us. And even unsaved, as God is calling us to himself, to just listen and to be obedient as we're crying out and we're looking for the Lord, to just do it. Sometimes it seems uncomfortable, sometimes it's weird, sometimes it doesn't fit your schedule. It's just awkward, but to just do it. Just step out and have that conversation. I'm going to share this story a million times, I hope, in my life. But an example of this is on Sunday, Denise and I went to a movie. And after the movie, we went out and I was sitting on the bench, and there was this older gentleman sitting down on the bench from me. And he had a Vietnam veteran hat on, and my dad's a Vietnam veteran, and so that just immediately tugs on my heart. And I walked over, after, I believe, the prompting of the Holy Spirit, I went over and I just greeted him. So I noticed your hat, my dad's a veteran, thank you, and I just wanted to say hi. And he engaged me, so I sat down next to him, and we talked just for, the whole thing was a few minutes tops. And by the end of it, a long story short, by the time we were done with this simple conversation about coming back as a Vietnam veteran, I had turned away, and Denise and I were gathering our things, and then I turned around, and the guy was then standing there, emotional, asking me if I would just give him a hug. Mm-hmm. And so I hugged this guy, big guy, and he just bear hugged me and was very emotional about this 3-minute interaction, mm-hmm. and just thanked me for acknowledging him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was even for me, on my side of it, it was a beautiful moment of the importance, okay, God, this is what I want to be doing all the time. I want to hear you. I want to be sensitive to you. I want to act. I want to do it. I want to do what you're laying on my heart. And so it did something for me, and whatever this guy needed, God knew what this guy needed in that moment. For whatever reason, he felt this just because he felt seen, he felt valued, and he felt acknowledged. Like that's what he said. And when I gave him this hug, and he was just emotional on my shoulder, and it was just beautiful. Literally 3 minutes out of my life that was just this, not to over spiritualize it, but like this supernatural moment.
Yeah.
Just, it was beautiful.
I don't think that's over spiritualizing. I think it was a supernatural moment. It was very cool.
Yeah, it felt like it. And so, again, that's the, when I say these things, it's not like I'm saying, hey, you guys do better. I'm saying for all of us as believers, let's listen, and not just listen, but let's just do it. Let's do what the Lord is prompting us to do, because we never know the fruit that can come from it for ourselves or for the others that he's kind of leading and guiding us to.
Yeah.
And so just in thinking about the show today, what it did was it brought me to James chapter 1, and there's a key verse in here that obviously we're going to talk about. That's why it brought me here. But I read this section and I thought, gosh, it's just good stuff to be challenged with as believers. And I know some of it is going to kind of referencing, a little bit of what James talked about a couple weeks ago when you guys all shared different messages. But here's what I want to do is this, and I just want to kind of talk about 4 different points that come from this James chapter 1, starting in verse 19. So he says this, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And we've talked about that on here. I don't know how many months ago. That was a whole podcast. But then verse 20, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, verse 21, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. And so that would be the first point. Just get rid of it. And it kind of comes back to this whole idea of just do it. Like the Lord, we know from the Bible and from experience that it's the Holy Spirit in us that convicts us of our sin, that points out these things that are not godly, these things that are not good, that are not right, that don't glorify him. And so we know that he does that. And so it's kind of like, okay, so what are we waiting for? Like let's just do it. And I know it's oversimplifying it to say, let's just do it. But let's at least start the battle. Like, let's step into that struggle. Overcoming addiction. I know firsthand that is not easy to do. But I know that when you start taking steps to overcoming addiction, you can overcome addiction.
Right.
Or you can just say, I'm fine where I'm at, even though I feel the Spirit inside of me saying, this isn't godly. To be out of control, to be a drunkard, all these different things. And so I was remembering the little phrase from James' message to just Jehu it, and just be a maniac about getting rid of your sin, cleansing this stuff from your life that God is kind of inside of you speaking to get rid of it. Immediately I thought of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles.
I wonder if they'll do a version of the Bible where it says, to Jehu, everything that easily entangles.
Somebody will.
Somebody will.
Yeah, somebody will get rid of it. Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think, I don't think it's an accident to throw it off. Like, stop messing around with it. Just throw it off. Just get rid of it. And again, I think we all would know what are these things that the Holy Spirit has been stirring inside of us that He doesn't want in our lives, that aren't godly, that aren't good for us, that the list go on. But just throw it off. Just get rid of it. Like what James says here. Get rid of all the moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent. And that statement right there, it like everywhere you look, there's evil in all these different places. But personally, get rid of all of these things that are so prevalent in our lives.
Well, I hope James's message really touched me. And when I got home, I got rid of a lot of stuff that was holding me back.
That's great.
Cool.
And I haven't wanted it yet.
You became a maniac.
I did. Yeah. I Jehu'd it all.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah. And that's the... I think they call it like the hyper grace or Bonhoeffer's cheap grace message, where it's okay, you can have that because of God's grace. It's okay, you can do that. Well, yeah, God's grace is really what allows and empowers us to overcome these things.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to kind of keep looking back to is, I don't want this stuff in my life because I want to follow Him.
And you miss out on so much when you're entangled in all the worldly stuff.
You absolutely do. Yeah, absolutely do. Yeah. So that's the first point. Get rid of it. Let's keep reading a little bit before our bottom of the hour break here. Then he goes on in verse 22, and this is the verse that is one of my favorite verses. But this is what kind of struck me in the heels of this Just Do It message last weekend. But verse 22, he says, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. And that verse 22, do not deceive yourselves. Do not be deceived by thinking I've heard it and that's enough. And I strongly believe that in a and I don't know if I could say a country or where this would bleed out to, but I would say in Western Christianity, I can't even confidently say for the most part, but there are a number of people who they see church as the pinnacle of their walking out their faith that week. I made it to church. I did it. Good for me. I can check that off my list. Now God loves me, and now I can go to heaven because I made it to church. And that church experience becomes the pinnacle, the high point, and it is a high point in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. But that should just be the beginning now of walking out what it is that the Lord has laid on our heart from that church experience. Listening to His Spirit, following His heart, walking in his steps, all of these different things on a day-to-day basis. And I think sometimes we get deceived into thinking, okay, you heard it. That's great. You heard it. Maybe you even memorized it. Maybe you read it. I mean, all of these are the ways we hear it. But are you doing it? Like, and that's what I think of when he says this. Don't forget what you've heard, but do it. Like, live this out now, whatever the Lord is speaking to your heart. I even think immediately of Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 7. Everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. And every time I talk about these verses or think about them, I think these two guys in this story heard the same words. Like, do you understand?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like they heard the same words. What's the difference? What's the difference between building on the rock and building on the sand? It's the application of the words. It's the living out of the words. Yeah. It's the doing what you're hearing. And that's right from the Lord. Like, here's the difference. Building on the rock or building on the sand, the solid foundation or the crickly, crackly, weak foundation. The difference is it's the living out of these words. And again, I think, like, just do it. What the Lord has laid on your heart, just do it and experience that strong foundation that comes from only Jesus. Right? Does that make sense to you guys?
It does. Yeah.
So again, this is the kind of thoughts that I have of just do it. Like, I know that God speaks to us. Like, I know that. Last night we had a meeting with a couple about an upcoming funeral, and over and over and over again, this gentleman said, like, I can list out numerous times where I could say, yep, that's God speaking to me. Mm-hmm. That's God speaking to me. That's God leading me. That's God guiding me. That's God providing. We know that God is alive. We know that He's active. So let's determine I want to do it. I want to walk in His footsteps. I want to be obedient to His word.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do what He's stirring in me to do.
Yeah. Part of that maybe is just acknowledging that God does speak to us, like not just floating through life, going to church and hearing things and saying, oh, that's a good idea, or that's probably something I should do, but acknowledging that God does prick in your heart, God does stir something inside you, and that shouldn't be ignored.
Yeah.
Just acknowledging God does talk. And when you're looking for that, when you're listening for that, the more you listen, the more you do, the easier it gets to acknowledge or to recognize the voice of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was at one of our prayer and worship sessions that I felt God was giving me a word to say. And I was like, no, people will think I'm weird. No. And I just kept saying no. And 30 seconds later, Shane came out and said those exact same words.
Wow.
That's a good confirmation from the Lord that you were hearing from Him.
Yeah, but I failed.
Well, it's not a failure as long as you learn something.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important point is, like God wanted people to hear something. Mm-hmm. And because even in a story like that, like, how many other people did He also say that to? And that's, so, okay, there's confirmation. Now, the next time, there's a little more courage to say, I'm going to trust that this is the Lord.
Yeah.
And because He speaks, He's alive. And I go back to, the Easter message and even the week after Easter. And I know listening to Pastor Mike's messages at the Forest Lake campus, there was a similar theme of He's alive. Like, He's alive. Like, we can't just forget that. He doesn't go back in the tomb because Easter weekend is over. Our God is alive. And I think I might have mentioned this to this guy last night. Our God is alive, and so He does speak to us. He does encourage us. He does lead us. He does guide us. He is alive, and He's everywhere, and He lives inside of us as believers. And like you're right, Denise, the more we understand He is alive, He is speaking, yep, that's probably the first step, is to trust that is from God. I am going to take these steps.
Yeah.
Right.
I am going to do it. So, yeah, first thing, man, let's get rid of the things that hinder, the things that, the evil. Let's get rid of the things that would distract us from the Lord. The second thing, let's do it. Let's not just be hearers of the word, but let's be doers of the word and see all that God does as we step out in faith with him. But right now, before our bottom of the hour break, and we continue with our 2 other points, let's listen to our word of the week.
Word of the Week. This is the part of the show where Denise and Bill learn new words in pursuit of knowledge and understanding of the English language, and so they can sound smarter. It's good. I got a fun word for us today. The word is scupper. Scupper. Any guesses? Scupper.
I'm going to say it has to do with a ship, something on a ship.
Scupper me laddie bucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's got something to do with a meal after supper.
That's a really good guess. But Alice is right. So a scupper, for the noun, is an opening cut through the bulwarks of a ship so that the water falling on the deck may flow overboard, or an opening in the wall of a building through which water can drain from a floor or a flat roof. So that describes it pretty good. It's an opening in the side.
See, that I didn't know, but it just sounded
Scuppery. Yeah. So that's the noun of scupper as a noun. Now, the one we're going to focus on is the verb scupper. To be scuppered is to be defeated or put an end to. And in the beginning of the verb definition, it's to do in someone. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Scupper them. But at some point, that changed from doing people in into doing things in. So the history of scupper is it has military origins. All efforts to figure out where this verb came from, like the scupper as a verb, not the noun, because the noun's been around since the 15th century, have been defeated, including attempts to connect it to the noun scupper, a 500-year-old for a draining opening in the side of a ship. All we know for sure is that scupper meant to ambush and massacre in the 19th century military slang. Then, just before the century turned, it found its place in a magazine story in the sense of simply doing someone in. The more common modern application to things rather than people being done in or defeated didn't appear until a couple of decades into the 20th century. That's quite the progression of a word, I'd say.
Yeah.
So we know if we don't use our new word, we lose our new word. So I'd like to use scupper in my own sentence. When Bill has a job placed before him, there are very few things that can scupper his determination to complete it. He can easily be a task-oriented person. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Probably pretty accurate.
Probably to a fault.
Can't scupper Bill from anything except for supper.
Yeah.
There we go. Scupper is part of supper.
There you go.
And even that, I do have to make you stop. If you've got something you want to finish, I just say, oh, it's time for supper. Things are getting cold. It's very hard for you. And sometimes I get a from you. Like, I don't want to stop. He likes to get things done. And
finish the project.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's our word of the week.
You're listening to In Pursuit with me, Pastor Bill, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. WAJC is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. If you would like to visit Maranatha Chisago Lakes campus, we have 4 weekend services to choose from. Visit maranathachisago.org to learn more and to check out some past messages. Okay, we're back after that super long break. A couple things I want to remind everybody of. Check out the church's websites, realchurch.org and maranathachisago.org, ComChurch, whichever you want to use. A lot of stuff happening. There's a big garage sale coming up here at the Forest Lake campus. The Blessing of the Bikes is coming up on June 7th. So just some fun opportunities to be in the church and reach out and invite other people to also be a part of it. But come check that out. Kids and youth camps are coming up, so check with the whichever campus you might go to or want to reach out to. Check with the children's pastors and get that information and send your kids away for a few days to experience a great time at Lake Geneva Camp in Alexandria. But continuing on here, I don't know what we're in pursuit of yet today, but we're going to get rid of the things in our life that hinder. We're going to do, not just listen, but do. But then I want to continue reading here in James chapter 1, verse 26 it is. He goes on and he says this, those who consider themselves religious and you do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. And this third point, if this were a sermon, I would say this: words matter. And I think that came up, I don't even know when it came up recently, that was in a conversation, that words matter.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can't remember the conversation we were having, but words matter. And I think that sometimes we can wrestle with, as Christians, I have something to say. It's a hard thing to say, so I just don't say it because words matter, or because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or whatever it is. I think that we can say things, we can say very difficult things, but we can say them in the right way. We can even speak out from a place of hurt or being angry. We can speak out in those and still be godly in it. Does that make sense to you guys?
It does.
So the words, like, that's, to me, the words matter. That's the, keeping a tight rein on your tongue. Like, this, it's so important. How we say things and the words we say matters. And that's where I kind of go back to the first part where we read, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. If we follow that recipe in conversations, whether it's one-on-one, in groups, whatever it is, if we follow that direction from the Bible, it's amazing what can happen, where sometimes you got to step back and you got to think about what I want to say. I'm still getting my point across, but I'm doing it in a way that is still godly.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing for me, because when I need to say something difficult, I just want to spit it out, and it's very hard for me, and I don't know why, to come out with gentle words sometimes. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. You do it so well. You really do. Well,
I don't know about that, but I think that again, part of it is, so now I come back to this, but this is God's word. This is God's direction for all of us. Okay, then let's do it, because my words matter. The way I say things, even the words I say, matter. And it doesn't mean there's not as much emotion behind it. It doesn't mean there's not as much power behind it. It doesn't mean the point is not getting across. I mean, it's just, this is what the Bible tells us to do. So, okay, let's stop and let's understand that the words matter. The words we use, the way we do these things, it matters.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't have difficult conversations.
I agree.
It doesn't mean you can't speak truth.
I agree.
Like, sometimes I think we justify my need to yell, my need to swear, my need to call names, well, it's just the truth. Well, you can express the truth and do it in a controlled way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fruit, like this, what we get self-control as a fruit of the Spirit, It's like, we get to do this. But it's also, if we choose to hear the words and do the words, or if we're just going to hear the words, dismiss the words, and satisfy the flesh. That's kind of where this breakdown starts happening.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? I mean,
yes.
You guys are both just kind of looking at me right now like you want to say mean things to me.
No, I don't want to say mean things. I agree with everything you're saying. I just know that I struggle with coming up with kind words to say something that's difficult. And so either I'll back away, or I won't say enough, because I'm trying to do it right, and it just doesn't come out of my mouth right. So,
well, let's talk about that just for a second, if we can.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I don't believe that it needs to be kind words.
Okay.
Like we're also not looking at, hey, I want to tiptoe around whatever this is that I need to say. I don't want to, like you can say things very directly, and you can say what would really be considered or perceived as unkind words. Like, to me, I think sometimes I want to say this in a kind way, as I need to sugarcoat this so that it comes out as warm and fuzzy as it can.
That's what I do.
Yep, but the goal is not warm and fuzzy. The goal is, hey, I'm going to speak truth to you, and I'm going to speak honestly about how here's what this really does to me. Here's, like, this hurts, this offends, this, whatever it is, to just get to the point and say the words that need to be said. But there doesn't need to be a loss of temper. There doesn't need to be a fit of rage. There doesn't need to be a whole lot of colorful adjectives, put in there. That's where I think, okay, if we start peeling away some of these things that are really only there to satisfy my flesh, I can just say what needs to be said.
Yeah. Well, here's an example. Like, I let my grandkids play on the playground, and a little boy was bullying my granddaughter. And so I just went up to him and I said, "Why did you say that?" And he just stared at me. And then I said, "Don't be mean." And then I walked away. And he went away crying. And so then his mom came and talked to me. It was a lovely moment. And in my head, I'm like, okay, you are Jesus still, even though you didn't do anything wrong with this little boy. You need to interact with this angry mom that's coming at you in a way that's good. And so I never said, your son was bullying my granddaughter. I never said those words because it felt too mean to me. And I wish that I had said that rather than being gentle, because she thought I could have been more gentle. And I'm like, I don't know how more gentle I could be other than don't be mean. I didn't yell at him. I didn't scream at him. I didn't hit him. I didn't push him away. I just said, don't be mean.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had said, you know what, I hear you, but I don't think I was excessive. I think your kid was bullying my granddaughter. And I didn't use those words because I was trying to be a good Christian.
Yeah.
And I just lack the wherewithal to find that line between speaking truth and speaking kind words and trying to do better, because I just blurt things out. In my past, I've just blurted things out, and I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that, Bill?
Well, I think...
And I'm just laughing because I just say whatever I feel.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes not good.
I know.
Yeah. And
well, but I think that maybe this is one of the misconceptions about what it means to be a Christian. It doesn't mean doormat. Being loving and kind does not equal a doormat.
Yeah.
There's times where, we take it. Yep, there are those times.
Yeah.
But there are the times where we're confronted with a situation like that. I don't, in my opinion, in a self-controlled, non-swearing, name-calling, I'm out of control, angry way, you can say, I get where you're coming from, but I observed your son calling my granddaughter names, and he, in my opinion, he was bullying her, and that's not okay. And all of that, what I just said and the way I just said it, I don't believe that I'm being unchristian or unloving or unkind by saying that the way I said it.
I agree with you.
And so, but I still said exactly what needed to be said.
Yeah.
I didn't escalate a situation. Here's why I did what I did, because in the moment, he needed to stop doing that to my granddaughter. I didn't grab his arm. I didn't lose control. I didn't yell and scream. I wasn't swearing at him, because to me, now those are all the times where that's not a godly way to handle it, especially with a child.
Right.
But to address the situation right there, and then when that mom comes at you, yep, we don't escalate, we de-escalate, but it's okay, in my opinion, to say what needs to be said, but do it in my tongue is under control, my emotions are under control, I'm not just letting loose, this is what happened.
Yeah. And I feel like I did all of that because I never lost control. I was not the one who was upset here, other than just saying don't be mean, which I thought was very controlled for me.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I said enough in my attempts to be a good representative of Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I think the words that needed to be said to her were, your child was bullying this kindergartner.
Yeah.
And I took care of it, and I'm sorry that made him cry, but he was being a bully, and I didn't come up with those words because I didn't want to do it wrong.
Yeah. Well, and I that's why maybe this is, I think it's a good conversation and something for us all to consider, is what really is the definition of doing it wrong. Because oftentimes we think saying what needs to be said is the doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I think saying what needs to be said in the right way
is the right way.
Is the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can say, the timing, the environment you're in. I mean, you weigh out all of those things with wisdom, but there still is there's a time where it just needs to be said. Not in a loss of control.
Yeah.
It's not like we say, okay, well, now I'm mad, so all of these biblical principles about controlling my tongue go out the window.
Right.
And here's the deal. Again, I don't want to oversimplify this, because, there's times, I think, for all of us where we fall short in this area. You can say words that you ought not say and never raise your voice, and it still doesn't mean you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there still is that's where, hey, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Let me process this for a second. And, okay, here's what happened. Here's the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the part of it, I think, is because we can get so thin-skinned, we're so easily offended, we tiptoe around, we walk around and pretend like everything's okay. Well, it's really not. And then if we keep this ball rolling, now that ends up coming out sideways and gossiping to other people. And okay, so we're dealing with the situation because internally this is boiling over, instead of having the honest conversation in this direction where, hey, here's what happened. And this is what I need to tell you, and I'm going to do it in a godly way. But a godly way does not mean walk on thin ice, and I want to be so careful. No, I can say what needs to be said, and here it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're responsible for their own emotions and...
Right, yeah.
Responses, yeah.
Yeah, you're not responsible for somebody else's emotions and response. I mean, in a relationship, okay, I take your emotions into consideration. It's not like I want to stomp all over somebody's emotions, but their response, if somebody flies off the handle and loses control, that's their response.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult thing, but that's the spiritual battle, spirit and flesh. That becomes the battle,
Yeah.
Walking out of there, to me, the thought that enters my mind is, I want to keep my integrity and my character intact and I don't always do it, but that's a goal, is I want to leave this difficult situation with my integrity intact. Whether it's a conversation or whatever it is, I'm going to come out the other side of this. I want my integrity intact. I want to be the self-controlled one. I want to be the one who is not digging deeper to satisfy my flesh, to not call names to satisfy my flesh, to not respond to their fit. I want to be self-controlled. And again, I'm saying all this, it's a desire I have in my heart. There's plenty of times I fail and I don't do it. But that's the intentional, in a situation when my blood pressure is rising, my heart's starting to beat, and my mind is going, I want to be quick to listen. I want to be slow to speak and slow to get angry. I want to say the words that I have to say in a calm, controlled way, because that's who I want to be.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. We have another point.
Ooh.
So finally, the last point, lest we can't get overly preachy on these shows because we have a time limit.
We do.
Verse 27 says this: religion that God our Father... well, I'm going to reread verse 26 so we get the context. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Before we move on, actually, I want to read 2 Proverbs under that, words matter. Proverbs 18:21. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Isn't that a true statement? The tongue has the power of life and death. Proverbs 15:4. The soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. And that's, again, it's just things to consider. How do I want to do things? So verse 26, those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Verse 27, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this. I think this is an important statement. Mm-hmm. To look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Point number 4 is this: faith and action. Mm-hmm. Here's the religion that God values, and that faith and action is because of this heart I have, because of the desires that God has put in me. Like this is out of this relationship. This is what we do. We take care of those in need. We give them a step up. We come alongside of them. We meet them where they're at. Like this is the thing that's the faith in action, and to keep ourselves from being polluted by the world. And I love that, and this is from the NIV, but I love the word polluted, mm-hmm. because would you ever, if you were thirsty and you came up on a pond and you look over and you see a power plant that's draining water right into it, are you going to drink from that water? Are you going to be polluted by that?
No,
we're not. And that's what I think of when I read a verse like this. Don't let yourself become polluted by the world. It's like I have this temple of the Holy Spirit. That's who I am, and that's who, like we want to show that to the world. Yet over and over again, we allow ourselves to be polluted by the world.
Mm-hmm. Sad.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what the Bible's saying is like, don't let yourself do that. And I look at that, it's like, this is the faith in action. Just do it. Like, let's start, or maybe the accurate way to say it is let's continue to live out what God is speaking to us through His Word, through other people, in our spirits, by His Holy Spirit. Like, let's live this out. Let's make more and more of, I want to live out Monday through Saturday. When I'm not in church for that hour, I want to live out this faith. I want to care for those that are in need. I don't want to be polluted by the world. And I'm going to do what I have to throw off, get rid of all this stuff that could hinder me and entangle me. I want to get rid of it. And I just want to do it. I want to live out this faith and see all of the different ways that God is going to use me, just a knucklehead, simple person, but knowing and trusting that even me, He can use me in everyday life to encourage somebody, to come alongside of somebody. I just want to see that happen more and more and more. And so that's my challenge to us today, is, man, let's do it. Let's live out the words that God has put in our heart.
I'll try.
Ditto.
Jesus.
You guys are a hoot. Hey, have a great day. Thanks for listening. God bless you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining In Pursuit with Pastor Bill and me, Denise. We hope you will tune in next Thursday at noon as the pursuit continues. In Pursuit is a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio, on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. WAJC is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the owner.